we have just 4 quick, really important vocabulary words that we need to make sure we understand before we get started on transformations. The first one is we're going to look at is the preimage. Okay, the preimage just means the original image, the original figure. And when it's represented, like for example, if I had triangle A, B, C, it's just represented just normal. This would be triangle ABC. We know this is the original figure because how it's labeled. And you might be asking, well, how can it be labeled differently? So let's look at what then the image is. So the preimage is the original image. It's what we start with. It's what we begin with. Okay? The image, the image is the new image that we look like. And if I was looking at triangle ABC and I was doing something to it, the new image would be represented with these prime markings. You see how I'm putting kind of like an apostrophe up there? Those are prime markings. So I would know that this is the image because of those markings. And so triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. So that's how we know that's the new image. So I want you to see the difference between the two. Here's my preimage in red. This is my image in blue. And so that's going to be really important. We have to be able to differentiate between them. Okay, the next word we need to know is orientation. Orientation, when we talk in math, is referring to a figure's direction. That's mainly what we're going to be looking at, is the direction of a figure. And in all, and let me open that up so you can see it a little bit better, the types of transformations that keep their orientation, that don't change orientation, are only translations. And you may be saying, what's a translation? Well, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Only translations keep their orientation. Now, which transformations change their orientation? That would be reflections and rotations. And so these two transformations that we talk about are actually going to change their orientation. The figure is going to change directions. So it's going to look a lot different, not a lot different, but a little bit different. Okay? Make sure you have those written down. And then let's talk about congruence transformations. This is really, really important. This is like a standard all by itself. We know that congruent means equal, right? So a congruence transformation means that the preimage and the image, the new figure, have the same side lengths and angle measures. So nothing about the size of the figure changes. It can change direction, it can change orientation, but nothing about the size changes. And so what's really important is to know what transformations are congruence transformations. They are translations. All translations will also be congruent. Okay? All reflections are also congruent, and rotations are always congruent. None of these transformations, when we perform them, none of them will change the size of our preimage. Okay, and so that's really important. So let's make sure we have that written down.